Hi, welcome to a brand new video of the Target Individual program, the Target Individual experience. Again, just doing a recap of my targeting, which will include videos as always, most of the time. And, for the past 2 weeks, again, heavy targeting, you guys will see some new stuff, okay, in terms of how they try to intimidate me and using the silent sound spectrum technology, microwaving myself and those around me, including my kids, Pam. How they use third parties to influence people around you. In my case, Pam. Using friends, families to cause disruptions and what's the word I'm looking for? But just you know, telling her things to put me in a bad light, basically. And which is fine. She's gonna tell them the issues that we have, but what I'm saying, she doesn't explain to them that what's happening to me. She doesn't explain to them that I'm in a coercive persuasion program, that I was being continue to be brainwashed and psychologically harassed, and at times my reaction is because of that. It's never violent. You know what I'm saying? I always leave, and she hates the fact when I leave. And that's basically it. So the gist of issues is the fact that when I leave, but I'm back the next day. You know what I'm saying? And which is something I don't quite understand, because for years we've been in a relationship and it has been that way. And I told her, listen, at times when I'm being targeted heavily, and I need a mental break, and I should get a mental break. You know what I'm saying? And the fact is that we don't live together, but I'm here almost all the time. Now we're not even in a relationship, and I'm still here most of the time. And I've asked her to find a babysitter for the longest while, since the beginning of the summer. She was like, I gotta clean up my house and this and that. And she has not even done that yet. Now she blames the elevator. Well, now the elevator is enough. She's always finding something to blame for her not cleaning up her house or her apartment, to make it presentable so she can get a babysitter. But I guess since I'm their father, I'm the babysitter. But y'all don't mind. But like I told her, I said I can't be here, with the way I feel. I said, I still love you, so it's kind of hard for me to be here. And on top of that, you're talking to other guys, and then you're lying to me about it. And you have a right to. But I told you, I said to her, listen, once that starts, I'm not going to be here. So understand that. But the fact that she don't want to get a babysitter, because again, babysitter costs a lot of money, right? And so, I'm the babysitter because, hey, I cook, I clean. And, okay, that's her. See how that works? And I talk to her, I'm on the phone talking, I'm on the video talking to her, and she calls me. It happens all the time. Hold on. Yeah. So this stuff like this always happens. Whenever I talk about her to somebody else, she ends up calling me because again, this is their use of the technology, right? And like I said, it happens so much that people would think, especially people who believe in religion and this, supernatural stuff, because there are times she said to me, well, yeah, we must be our psychic minds are together. And I'm like, I don't know about that, because what I know, okay, it is not no psychic ability. This is manipulation happening on the highest level using technologies that people don't understand, people don't want to understand, people don't believe, because they've been conditioned not to believe it, and it's been hidden from the public. And people like new generations of targets, I shouldn't say new, but people who've been targeted, I would say from the mid 90s on up now, we're just speaking out about it, man. We're tired of and you hear the noise campaign outside, and we're gonna talk about that, right? So anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. So anyway, I was watching a interview with Byron Allen on the Breakfast Club, and he talks about the 4Ds, right? He's talking about how they dismiss you, right? Then they discredit you, then they demonize you, and then they destroy you. But in our case, as TIs, the first thing they do, they do dismiss us, because when we talk about what's happening to us, actually it should be the other way around. As TIs, they demonize us first, okay, through psychological manipulation of our minds and people around us. Then they dismiss us when we talk about what it is that they're doing, okay. Then when we continue to speak and we gain momentum, then they basically try to discredit us, right? Okay? And then they try to destroy us. Those of us who have survived this long enough and have basically have a good grasp of this program, then they have to destroy us, right? And again, this is what they do, and the use of the psyops is one way, as well as economic suppression and other things, right? So psychological warfare, credibility. Psychological warfare is an invisible technology that deals with the mind, and destroying the victim's credibility in order to prevent exposure is a top priority. Destroying the victim's credibility also results in feelings or the belief of hopelessness. Advanced technology and psychological manipulation are also used to make the victim's claim more unbelievable, or to make dismissing these claims easier or more justified. Before I continue, I forgot this, but Pam had called me, and again, after I got off the phone with her, they started with the sirens. So this is what they've been doing back and forth, right? Whenever I call her or she calls me, they'll start with the sirens right afterwards, right? So again, this is like a threat, right? This is a threat to me, saying to stay away from her or what have you, such and such, right? These people are just ridiculous, right? But this is what they do. Okay, sorry for that. Let me get back on track here. But I just need to explain that. When a group or an organization engage in psychological harassment or warfare, they usually use tactics or operate in a way to discredit the victim or have the victim discredited by the medical community, notably psychiatry. Campaigns of disinformation, of false information, and information restriction or isolation are usually used as well. Okay, so I just wanted to just talk about that, and then let's move on to the newworldwar.org, which is Mark Rich website. I mean, I've never met this guy, but I love this dude. I appreciate everything that he's done, what he's written, because it's so true. Okay, so on the psychological operation, and it gives a description. Psychological operations, psyops, are a planned process of conveying message to a targeted audience to promote certain attitudes, emotions, and behavior. These messages are typically conveyed using a line of persuasion known as a theme. So when we talk about street theater, the street theater we as targeted individuals talk about is what is called a theme, right? Psyops is basically the use of communication to influence behavior. It is used against adversaries, their supporters, and their potential supporters. It is defined by the U.S. Army in the following way. Psychological operations are planned operations to convey selected information and indicators to foreign audience to influence the emotion, motives, objective reasoning, and ultimately the behavior of foreign governments, organization groups, and individuals. An important consideration here is that a targeted audience can be a group or individual. A targeted audience is defined by the Joint Chief of Staff publication doctrine for a joint psychological operation as an individual or group selected for influence or attack by means of psychological operations. Okay, so I'm not gonna get into a whole bunch of the stuff, but this is an excellent website for anybody who really wants to get a good idea of these tactics and particularly military operations that are in charge of doing these tactics, right? And employing these methods. This is a excellent website to read, and get information from. Okay, so I talk about coercive persuasion a lot, but a lot of the things that is being used on the perpetrators, the civilian perpetrators, right, is what is called thought reform, right? And that also it used on us as TIs, but more so coercive persuasion. The thought reform happens mostly to the perpetrators, civilian perpetrators, okay? And because the use of religion, this is an excellent form of mind control for those who believe in religion, and those who wants to control those who believe in religion. So I'm not going to get into a lot of it. I have in the past, but you guys can go to this website. It's called cultrecover.com, and you can read up about this. Okay? So now let's go to the videos. Okay, so this has happened last week. Last week I went to pick up my kids from the Boys and Girls Center here on Bedford and Schneider, and I've always picked up my kids there. You guys know that. I've said that they joined the Boys and Girls Club, and I've never seen these two individuals before. So I got my daughter, and I went to the gym to see if my son was in there, because I was told he was in there, but of course he wasn't. And again, I was told he was in there because for a reason, because they wanted these two people right here, these two guys right here, to see that I came so they can come out and they can start with the subliminal threats, right? So I sit down, my daughter comes over to me, she was on the side somewhere, and this guy, the black guy, now they always, Malcolm X said it best, okay, they will always find some bootlicking coon ass Negro to do their dirty work, right? So that way I can't say, it was racist, it was racism, white supremacy, because, it was a black guy that did it, right? It's still racism and white supremacy, because when you condition black people to view themselves in a negative way and to also target other black people, those black people who you've conditioned in that way have the mind and the mindset of a white supremacist. So, is a saying, not all kinfolks is skin folks? There's a reason for that. And there's a reason for that saying. Okay? So he comes out with his gun on his hip, right? His sweater wasn't over it. You see, he got his sweater pulled down, right? His sweater was up. Clearly walked past me with his gun on his hip. And at this point, I became concerned, because I'm like, why is this dude in here with his gun showing when there's a whole bunch of kids around? So when I started recording, I guess they told him that I was recording. So then he takes his sweater and he puts it over his weapon, right? And so at this point, this is where I started recording. And then again, you see the palm fixation drill. He's acting as if he's fixing his, his clothes, but it's all fixation. Palm fixation drill. That's all this is. See what he's doing? Again, but he's trying to mask it. This is how they mask it, right? So here comes my daughter. Actually, she just came. Now, you see when my daughter came, how he takes his phone out of his pocket? But yeah, I mean, you can't see the phone, but that's what he did. And here you see me asking him to call him, right? That's my daughter. She's so beautiful. I love her. And the reason why I'm doing this is for my kids too, so that I know that they're gonna target my kids, and I gotta expose them so that they know when my kids grow up, they're gonna know all about this stuff. Okay, they're not gonna manipulate them like they've manipulated me in the beginning, because I didn't know. My kids are gonna know the truth. So yeah, she asked me if Ethan was in there. She know Ethan wasn't in there, but they sent me in the gym. And the minute I went in the gym, I came back out and sat down. Those two walk out, and the black one had his firearm showing. And like I said, it wasn't after I took my phone out to record. He then, takes his sweater to hide his firearm, right? But he had no problem coming out with his firearm showing, right? Especially when there's a bunch of kids around. But again, this is just intimidation tactic that they use. And I didn't pause this video because I knew from that point that I was going to be targeted heavily and it was going to be a blitz. And I knew that I'm going to get enough on video, right, that I would show exactly what these people are doing. So you hear I'm saying, yeah, okay. Because I know, I'm saying it sarcastically because I know what it is that they're up to. They're not slick. You understand what I'm saying? I've been in this program for going on 20 years, probably even more. They've been targeting me since before I even knew I was targeted, okay? And so this is the things that they do, okay? So now, after they walk off, you'll see this female here. She comes and she starts with the hand fixation drill again, right? Again, now they start using a lot of women, particularly black women, because I don't really talk to any other type of women except for black women. Black women are queens, and regardless of how bad they treat me, regardless of all the shit that they do, I know they're being manipulated, just like black men are being manipulated, and we're both being manipulated against each other. And it's something that we have to come to terms with and understand. Okay, and they use a lot of things, from materialistic things to sex to education. You know what I'm saying? They use a lot of things against black men and black women, and we have to understand that. But we don't. We choose to ignore the things, right? While our families are being torn apart, separated, now you have black women like proud to be single moms now. Well, I'm a single mother. I don't need no man in the house, and my kids don't need their dad, or my dad was an asshole, or whatever. Their dad is an asshole, whatever. He's a cheater, whatever, or he this or he that. Black men, I'm not with her anymore. Please look at her. She had 2-3 kids, and look, she fat. Look at her stomach. Look, she let herself go. Or they'll say, well, she's not giving me enough sex, so I'm gonna go get sex elsewhere. All this stuff is being used against us. Okay, black women be like, well, he's not making enough money for me. Shoot, I'm making $100,000. He's making $150,000. Please, I don't need that. I need somebody at my level economically. This is the mentality that they created within us. And it is not good because it is separating us. It is putting us against each other. So when are we going to realize and wake up and understand this? Black women, you have to understand the reason why you are now in the position that you are in is because of the war against the black man and the black man. Recognize that. And instead of trying to look down on the black man, you should be like, you know what? I'm going to get in a position where I'm going to help my people out. Black men and women. Black men, the same thing. She's such and such, and what have you, and there's so many women out there. that, you know, I don't need to be with one woman and I don't need to be committed and such and such. Listen, man, understand the psychological game that they're playing against us. Understand that. Okay? I shake my head because, you know, it's sad. It's sad. So anyway, so she comes now and she stands up, and again, this is what they do. So after the two cops walk away, she comes, stand up in front of me, and again, the same thing the cop was doing, trying to mask his targeting the palm fixation drill. She comes and she starts her hands behind her back, standing just like that with the palm fixation drill. Okay, right? So again, this is one event, and then after the next event, right? So I guess, you know, the use of black women in my targeting is, again, it's a lot. And let me stop this video. But anyway, so last Saturday we took the kids to Prospect Park because they had a Halloween festival there, what have you. And then, you know, we got there late because, you know, Pam, you know, some women, not all women, but you know, some women, they're always late, right? You got to get all beautified and all, you know, primped up and looking gorgeous and sexy, you know. So that's what I did with every time we got to go out. You know, I tell Pam, I said, listen, you're beautiful, but, you know, I guess, you know, when I tell her she's beautiful, it doesn't mean anything, I guess, you know. But hey, it is what it is, right? So anyway, so we get there, and then all of a sudden we stayed for a little bit, and then she wanted to walk to this booth, right? So as we're walking there, these two male white cops walking to the same booth in a synchronized manner. So at that point, I stopped. When they saw me stop, they started doing hand signals. So I started doing hand signals back to them. So I'm not paying attention to Pam, what she's doing. So she comes back and she's like, these people are horrible. She's like, even though the stuff is free, but it's like little stuff that costs maybe 5 cents, what have you. And they're like attacking everybody, you know, each other for it. You know, she's like, I just have to get out of there. So I was like, yeah, come on. You know, and I guess those two white cops were very disappointed because I can recognize the synchronized movement, right? And so the kids wanted icy, so we walked over to the icy cart, the woman that was selling icy. Now here comes two female police officers walking together again. So immediately when I saw it, I started doing hand signals to them. They started doing hand signals to me. I continued to do hand signals to them, and I don't know what I did, but I had something in my hand, and I guess it must have affected them, you know, because they turned around and they left, right? I think I had Ethan's mask. He had a mask with these light up eyes, what have you, because he was the Grim Reaper, right? So then, you know, we walked out of the park. The kids were like, we want McDonald's. We went over to McDonald's, and again, synchronization, two police officer with the McDonald's security guard came in the McDonald's, and they went to this dude. Now again, this is all orchestrated. This is the theme, right? Again, this is how they mask their targeting. And the minute I saw that, I started recording. See, I started recording before they came over to this guy. See, they have to have a reason to make it look like it's legitimate, right? So this is what they'll do. This is all orchestrated in a theme, you know. It's all being played. Now check this out. Okay. Now I want you to watch the lady that comes here, and then I also want you to watch the guy that's sitting down that the police was talking to. Watch how he moves his hood back, right? Not all the way now, but then to where his ears, right? So you can see his ears, right? So if it isn't sticking their finger in their ears, they'll do stuff like this, right? Now check out as he brings his hands down, right? And what they've been doing lately is they've been placing their thumb on their middle finger, right? And yeah, I just said that, Carl. Yes, because they not recognize that, right? Again, this is conditioning, right? So when I start to recognize these things, because they've been doing it for so long, that yeah, I start to notice it, right? Because remember, condition is based on repetition. So now the older woman comes and she wipes her. She does this, right? And again, sorry if I'm not trying to trigger anybody, but you'll see how it's like they want me to shave my goatee for some reason. Not that can make a difference. I am who I am, whether I have a beard, goatee, no beard, or have you. But again, that's part of the psychological operation to try to make you feel like you have to hide your identity or change the way you look, right? Because again, they want you to. It's about control. To see how they can control you to do things, right? So being that they, haven't succeeded in trying to manipulate me, like in the past, it doesn't happen again because I've gotten too aware and too knowledgeable about this program. So they gotta do other things, right? Just like they were, send me subliminal message not to wear my glasses. I still wear my glasses. Okay, my eyes has gotten worse, so I gotta wear my glasses. It isn't because, where they want me to wear it or not. And if I don't wear it, it isn't because they don't want me to wear it or not. I wear it because I want to, and I don't wear it when I don't have to. Simple as that. Right? And so, anyway, this whole thing, again, is all a street theater. Okay? That's all this is. And I'm not going to do the whole thing, but okay, and I was taking up for the guy too, even though I knew it was a psyop. But just in case it wasn't, I was like, okay, don't be spending your money here, because I certainly won't. Okay, next video. Okay, so here I am. This was this, I believe, the same day, but in the afternoon, going home. I was taking the kids home with me. Okay, and let me see. Also, they started using vehicles with the number 32 in the license plate again. But again, it doesn't affect me. I just know that when I start to see the repetition of it, okay, that yeah, that I'm being targeted in that manner. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. So let me explain what happened here. So I was on my way out, okay, with the kids to take them to Pam, because this is the next day. This is the Sunday. And I saw this guy in this yellow rain jacket standing outside the building. Now, when he sees me, he turns around, walks over up the block to his vehicle, right? He walks up the block to his vehicle, okay, to his vehicle. Come to find out that he had, he was there to pick up a passenger, right? My next door neighbor, right? Now, I'm saying to myself, okay, why is he parked so far up? Because this is after he eventually left. 'Cause what happened is that he got in his vehicle, he reversed back. I got in the car, and I had to reverse back to get, because I forgot something, so I sent Ethan for it. And then he leaves, right? So I'm saying to myself, when is it that you'll see a cab driver waiting, getting out of his vehicle, waiting for his passenger to come out their building or their house? Plus, he parked far up the block. Okay? So he had to walk all the way back just to stand up in front of the building. And then on top of that, he wasn't waiting for me. Okay? So he sees me, and of course he recognized me, because again, that's what they do, right? And then he walks to his vehicle, right? Gets in his vehicle, reverse back. So even if he didn't even think that I was the passenger, Because if he did, he would have said something to me, right? But he knew, so he eventually left. And then the next door neighbor came out, and she came to the car, and I was like, "No, I'm not the cab." He left, So I said, He left a few minutes ago. So this is how they do. This is what they do, using individuals, especially particularly cab drivers, to anybody. Damn it! It's like I keep saying particularly cab drivers, but it's like particularly everybody, every damn industry, service, what have you, they use. Okay. Okay. So here you go. So now the next day, this is not next day. This is Tuesday. I go to class. We had a test. Finished taking a test. The student left, and then I had lab. And then I noticed that the majority of the student all came in the classroom together. Like, they all crammed through the door, and then they all stood up. None of them went to their seats, right? So I said, okay, this is some shit that's about to go down. So I started recording. See everybody standing up except for these two, because they was there. There were more, right? So check this out. Okay, so you notice when he starts snapping his finger, the female student, she put this red thing to her mouth. Okay, she's eating, I guess it's candy bar, what have you, but again, it's the color, the red theme, right? So see how she keeps looking at me? She'll look at me and then look over there. Watch this. Again, masking. Right? Watch the eyes. She look. Then she looks across the door. Because, they want me to leave. This is what they do every single day. Try to get me to leave school. Every time, if you're a TI, you try to participate in something that's going to be helpful or move you forward, they don't want you to participate in it, right? If you're going to apply for anything, for aid or have you, they don't want you doing that, right? What has happened, just like, and I'm going to speak about this because there's relevance to this in terms of my target. And when you look at the caste system in India, what we as TIs are, we're part of a caste system in America and those in other countries too, right? In which that they've made a determination that we belong on this level with nothing, no one by our side, no support, what have you, and that's the way our life is going to be from now on. But I refuse to believe that. No matter how many messages of hopelessness and or whatever they may try to send me of homelessness, what have you, I refuse to believe that. Okay? So check this out. Now, watch as see what she does here. Grabs her butt, right? And now she'll use 4 fingers. See how she spread open her fingers? Okay. Okay, so now she picks up her bag, and what does the student do at the same time? Picks up his jacket. Okay. Now let's go back here. See? Let's go back. All right. So this jacket is not falling over or anything like that. This is all a theme, a street, not a street theater, but a classroom theater being played out. So she goes, picks up her bag. He goes, he picks up his jacket, puts it down. Okay, now watch the palm fixation right there as he puts it in his pocket. Okay, again, this is all a masking technique. So I gotta explain this. So now the other student comes in. Okay, this is my lab partner here, young kid. Now they all start taking out their phone. See, the guy in the white pants, He has a case with his phone in it. He's going to grab his case. Let's go back. Okay. See, he grabs his case. Okay. Actually, he had his phone out. Okay. Now he puts it in his case. He puts his phone in his pocket because they want me to see it. Again. So now Kevin walks with his phone in his hand. Again, he takes his other hand, palm fixation drill. Now, the other student does the hand behind the head signal. Okay. Okay, now check this out. So, I've never mentioned the use of the color purple that they use in my targeting, right? Because the color purple means royalty, and so, I'm not going to get into speculation about being royal or stuff like that. I have some sort of royalty in my background, but that's what, to me, the color purple represents. I guess maybe that's why they bow their head when they target me and the shit don't work out. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what they're doing. Okay, now watch what's gonna happen here. Now watch the students. What's the student here? How he brings his hand forward. Again, palm fixation drill. Okay. Okay, now he's one in front there. You see, he had his arm folded. Okay, so now he starts touching his nose. Okay. Okay, now listen to what he says. So as he grabs a chair, you see what he does with his hands to give me the middle finger, and he says to me, "This one." This one. Then the other. Then you see the hands behind the head. Okay. I look at the professor. He keeps when he turns, he looks at me. The same guy, same professor I told you that he was going to make copies, and he turns to me and says, "Nigel, I'm going to make more copies," and he did this to me. Same professor. Okay. So now, see the student here in the white pants. He grabs his ears after she shows me her bag. So we're gonna go back, and you hear the fire truck sirens because they know I know what it is that they're doing. Okay. So watch. So now she takes her bag. Now she didn't have to swing her bag all the way out there, but again, it's done so I can see it, right? Again, this whole theme about it's in the bag. Student white pants starts grabbing his ears. Okay, and then Kevin covers his mouth. I mean, I didn't lift up the phone because I didn't want to make it look too obvious that I was recording, but he covers his mouth. Now he takes his thumb and puts it in between his finger, right? It's either they'll do that or they'll give me the thumbs up. Okay. So, again, this is what they do and what I contend with on a daily basis. Okay. And it doesn't matter what class I have. There's going to always be some sort of street theater theme played out within the classroom. All right. And at that time, I realized that I'm being microwaved and remote neural monitors. And when that happens, yeah, I get confused. I get forgetful because, again, the use of these technologies have been used on me, and I've been it's been used on me for so long that that's the negative effect it has on me. All right. And so the night before, I was up studying for that exam. You know what I'm saying? And when I got to take the exam, I couldn't remember anything, literally. Okay. And so now what I have to try to do is go to sleep early, wake up early, study for the exam. Probably wake up around 4 o'clock, study for the exam for at least 3 to 4 hours, and then go to class and take the test. Okay. So anyway, here now I'm driving a Pam, and I noticed that this construction worker, he comes over from this side of the street where this woman is right over here, and he stands up right on this fire hydrant, right? So he's sitting on the fire hydrant again with his hands closed like this, right? You know what I'm saying? Like this is how they show me that they're little children and want to throw temper tantrums, because little kids who are mad usually do stuff like that, right? And this to show you the childish mentality that they have. Okay. So now, as he sees me hit the record button, okay, and he gets off, walks over, and then he does this. See, they love to do this because, again, this is one way that they feel that they have put enough fear in me that if I talk about what's going to happen, I'll be arrested, right? But again, you look at my channel, I have tons of video. So even if they're doing that, I still do the video, because you know what? I do the same thing back to them. That, hey, I'm going to expose you guys for what you're doing, and y'all motherfuckers will get arrested. Okay? So when they try to send me these type of negative subliminal messages, I return the favor and send them back the same thing. Okay? There's no fear in me in terms of speaking about what's being done to me. Okay? And others. Okay? So again, you'll see the theater play it out. And he's looking at me now. He's looking directly. You see, he's walking across the street and he's looking directly at me. Okay, let's go. Right? He's looking directly at me. Okay? Bows his head. Still looking at me. He looked at the vehicle because his ass was going to get hit. Then he stands up there with his hands on his face. Okay, now he turns around and he walks off. Okay, now at this point, now you see this guy comes out of his vehicle, of the van. Okay, and he stands up there fidgeting in his pocket, now fixing his clothes. And it's a theme that you guys see in my video when the civilian perps are targeting me, how they act like as if they're fixing their clothes. All right, now before I miss this guy here. Okay, let's go. Okay, so you see the guy standing here in the gray sweater with his arm folded, staring at me as I drive by. Okay, this is what they do, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let me get to the next video. Okay, so now this morning on my way to school. Oh, sorry, this is. Oh, yes, this is it. This morning. So what happened when I went to pick up the kids yesterday? There was a fire truck. I heard the noise, saw it, the lights flashing, and they do this sometimes when they don't want to be caught on camera. They'll be a block away, and then they'll turn, right? So they won't come down straight. They'll turn, and when they do stuff like this, is when I know for a fact that these people, they know what they're doing is criminal. Because when I expose them in the way that I do, they go back into hiding until they have the opportunity again, whatever they do behind the scenes, to come out and target me even more heavy. Okay? right, because I saw all these lights. If you look behind the street cleaner, you see the lights back there, right? So let me just okay. And again, so what they'll do too is again they'll have people stand in the corner because particularly they have to. What they do is that they have what should I say? For every situation, they have set up. So whether I go into the train station, whether I ignore it, go into the train station, whether I record it, go into the train station, or whether I keep recording and walk towards the fire trucks, right? And so you see as I turn, you'll see, and again, you start using a lot of white women in my targeting. So you'll see her standing there with her phone in her hands, and she sees me. Okay, now she's looking over, smiling at me, you know, and then staring down at my shoes. Okay. All right, let's check these people out. These individuals out, right? Remember, they're all part of it. Okay. Again, this is when they know that because they know me. They know me. I've been going through this for so long, and they know that I'm not taking this shit just laying down with my head in the sand or head in the clouds. That yeah, I know exactly what it is that they're doing. Okay, I know exactly what it is that they're doing. Okay. So again, yeah, you guys know, and I know, and I know you know, and you know I know. Okay. So some of them have sad look on their face, some of them mad because they know that they're about to get caught. Okay. Number 32 in the vehicle. Now, yeah. Yep. So when I came out the house, there was a vehicle parked up or passing by. I think number 32 walked up a block. Car came to the intersection. Number 32 in the license plate. Walked there. Number 32. So you'll start to see this. They're blocking up the whole street. Look at that. See? And exactly, right? They're gonna leave. It's funny when I say this, and I think I showed you guys too, right? That whether I'm walking with a civilian, they will be standing there waiting for me, and then when they see me, they'll turn around and leave. Right? They do some hands and turn around and leave. Same thing with the cops. They'll see me instead. They'll see me coming. They'll be parked. Then they'll drive off. Or if they're walking, they see me. Then they'll do some hand signals, turn around, and walk off. Same thing. It's the exact same thing. Yep, they love to put on a show. They love to put on a show. Okay. Now, after I got this footage and I went down the train station, I got to school. Man, the look on their face was like, okay. But of course, I'm in school, so they're gonna adjust. They're gonna adjust. And so now I leave school. Now they go through this. Well, if you talk about it, we're going to arrest you. If you talk about it, we're going to do this to your kids, right? So they start talking about sending subliminal messages. Oh, the kids, oh, the kids, oh, the kids. They talk about kids and stuff like that in front of me, right? Because they try to shut me up. Okay? It's not going to work, though. All right? Okay, so now, took the train home, got out the train station, and guess what? Just got out of the train station. Hello. See, this is something that they've done in the past to me a lot, and they're trying to rehash their old tactics, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So I guess leaving my building, and I got to start recording right away because again, synchronization is at work here. Silent sound spectrum is at work. Okay, now watch this guy in front. How you start touching his nose. Okay, so again, right? Because again, they're signaling each other, right? So this woman here, when she sees me, she starts playing with this white tissue paper she has in her hand, right? Okay, so let's get to where she's at there. Okay, so watch his movement, right? He starts covering his mouth. Okay. He sees the woman coming by, he touches his nose, he taps his nose. Okay. So as he's doing that, check out the hand signal. Okay. Tap his nose and watch his fingers. 3 fingers comes down, right? You can see 1, 2, 3. Right? This is what they do, right? So whenever they use subliminal message using 3 fingers, they start tapping their nose. When it's 4 fingers, then it's like they start to target me with the cops. Okay, well, I'm not going to put this whole video. Let's go to the next one. So, synchronization again. So I turned up the block, went onto another block, and guess who? And they try to be slick too. So what they did is that they waited because they know I was going to be recording. But what they didn't realize is that I was going to turn around. Well, maybe they did realize it. There's nothing they can do about it anyway. So yeah, so you see them driving by. And again, I'm going to prove to you guys how this stuff is orchestrated. Okay? Watch this. And you see, when I stop to record them, it throws the synchronization off. Okay? Because now, you see this guy, he has a newspaper in his hand. And again, they subliminal message about being arrested and my images being plastered all over the newspaper. And they got to try to, they always try to make you look in the most unflattering light. Because when I get a haircut and my goatee is trimmed, they don't do that. Only when my hair is the way it is, because again, they look at black people with hair like this, I may not have a haircut, as they just have a negative outlook on the way we look. Okay, so now you see this guy, he was just waving to the cops, okay, as they pass by, and then he's going, as I get close, he's going to cross the street. Now look at the direction that the cars are facing, right? Okay, so that means that the cars are coming in the direction that the parked cars are facing, right? But look at where he's looking. So he crossed the street the entire time looking at the direction that the police vehicle just went down on. Then this individual comes out, does the same thing. Okay. Then he goes back, walks back in front of his building. And you see, because I stopped to record the police, the synchronization was thrown off. Because normally I would get close, this individual would then walk very close in front of me to try to upset me and piss me off, right? Okay, so now look at the guy on the bike. Okay? And watch him. Okay? Again, the word champion on there. See the cops just pass by. Again, I mean, what are you police officers are the champions on? Huh? Champions of what? Beating your women? The champions of what? Incarcerating innocent black people? The champions of what? Killing unarmed black people, including children? Champions of what? Corruption? Champions of what? Drug dealing? Champions of what? Sex trafficking? Champions of what? What do you guys are the champions of? Because there ain't anything positive. Because we know the vast majority of police officers, particularly under NYPD as well as other metropolitan police officers and small towns too, the majority of them are criminals. They're criminals masquerading as they're some law, they're upholding the law. Please. They commit the most heinous crimes and they get away with it because they got a gun and a badge. Okay? So he's all proud. He's like, yeah, look at me. We're the champions. We're the champions. Bunch of idiots. Okay? So now you'll see as I walk by, the reason why I turn. Okay, so what he's doing now, he has his hands in his pocket and he's shaking the change in his pocket. Again, using, the sort of economic collapse. Again, gotta expose them, man. Gotta expose them. Got to. Okay. Okay, so now here I am going to pick up the kids. As I turned the corner, there was one police officer that was there. He had his back turned towards me. He was like right at the side, so I couldn't really see him. When I got to the corner, he starts walking, because again, they signal him. He starts walking, because then he signaled his other partner to come over, right? So the other partner walked over, and then they started looking up at the school windows. So I said, okay, record their ass. Okay. Again, you'll start to see I talk about the skull and crossbones. Usually when shit don't pan out, they'll use the skull and crossbones. Okay. And then they all walk around like they're mad. Right? The adults. Look at her. She's walking like she's mad. And then the teachers, as I go to pick up my kids, my daughter actually, they started falling in their arms when I got to that area to pick up. They both of them was like standing there like this, looking at me. I'm like, yo, these people are just. I mean, it's a sick. It's sick, and you talk about mental illness in the black community and how black people don't want to talk about it. So, sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. My goatee was just scratching me. So now this is what they do when shit don't pan out. Whatever it is they have planned don't pan out. Then they'll send a young girl, usually a teenager, to maybe their late teens, right? Mid-teens to late teens, who will stand up there when they see me, stare at me, constantly stare at me, okay? As if trying to tell me that they're going to use her to make some false claim or some false charge against me, right? And so when I see stuff like that, okay, all right, okay, I'll put you on blast. Okay? So this young girl right here, okay? So see, now that she knows that she's on camera, now she's no longer staring at me, right? Okay? You'll see her just give me a quick look, right? As she does the hand signals. Again, with this kid here, this all synchronized. Okay? Okay, so she just does like a quick eye look. And now, whereas she was staring me in my face, like literally staring me down. Like you should know me, But this is what they do. Now check this out. Now they send this woman over here with the glasses. She turns around, she's looking at me. She knows I'm recording. You can see her eyes look down to the phone. So they know. Okay? So now let's do... I don't know why this one is down here. Alright, so now... Here's another idiot now. So he keeps walking back and forth, putting his hands behind his back. Again, with the whole palm fixation drill. Okay? See, he looks at me, right? You see that? And because this is what he does. He'll hide behind this wall, then walk back over here, hide behind the wall, take a look at me. There you go, you look at me again. So now you'll see he's walking across. This is what he's been doing the entire time he showed up there. Okay? Mr. Brown, my dude. And again, you see how he walks by though, with the hands behind the back, the palm fixation drill. Let's go back slightly and see if we can see that. Alright, so there he goes. Now let's see what he does. Alright, palms open with the thumb. Okay. And he kept doing that. And that's why I had to record it, because I realized what was happening again, too. Now he takes his pinky finger and touches his mustache. So, again, that goes in the theme of them wanting me to shave my goatee. Now, I love my goatee. I think I look handsome. I love it. Okay, now she walks by and she's doing this. Okay, let's go slowly. And they know. They know who these people are, and they're targeting me. Okay. You see what she's doing there? She walked by. Doing this again. Trying to tell me, don't talk about the targeting and stuff. So he walks by again. No, now he's... Okay. Now, again, it's all synchronized, right? Now watch the guy right here with his daughter. You'll see stick his tongue, his tongue, okay, at that point, right? Did you see that? You guys see that? Okay, you're gonna see it again, but I just want you guys to really notice it. Right there, stick his tongue out, okay, and now you'll see him do it again, right there, okay, and right there, as he's looking at the phone, all right? Because again, and you see he was looking at his kids again, because they're trying to tell me if I talk about this, they're going to target my kids. But they're targeting my kids regardless. Doesn't matter. Okay, so you're not going to put into my mind that it's going to happen. Now look at the guy behind him. Okay, he's covering his mouth. Okay, see that? Covering his mouth. Okay, then he walks away. He puts his hands down from over his mouth, and now the guy in the gray shirt is going to walk off. All orchestrated. Okay. Again. Okay. He's talking about, oh, she hate me, you know, because I mean, they sent us a similar message about Pam, saying Pam hate me and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. And really, I'm like, okay, if anybody have a reason to hate anybody, it should be me hating her, okay, not her hating me. All right, I have not done anything to her. Unlike her, with the lying, deceiving, sneaking around, okay, lying to me about the sneaking around, all this stuff. Okay, I should be the one hating her. But she hates me because what was being done to me affected me psychologically. And it would affect anybody. But you have some people, particularly some black people, who are oblivious to a lot of things. They don't want to know because they live in their own bubble, right? And they feel that you should do whatever they tell you to do or they ask you to do, and you can't say no to them because they can't make sense of why you're saying no. Because I don't want to. Because I need to take a break. Because, you know, I'm being targeted so heavily, I'm getting headaches. But I realized that in our relationship, she never really cared. She never paid attention. You know what I'm saying? It was other factors, you know. And I loved her. Because of what I was going through, I loved her. She didn't love me the way that I love her. I was just the convenience who, you know, she had 2 kids. So she's like, hey, you know, such and such. But hey. Well, that's it for the video. And yeah, no, it's kind of sad. But, you know, as target individuals, you expect stuff like this to happen. Especially, you know, that, again, a lot of times that the people that you encounter before you realize what's being done to you have been orchestrated and placed into your life for this very reason, to try to silence you when they go live with this stuff. Okay, but it doesn't work here. All right, so that's it for the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.